basically the thing about azwel is you've got his four stances, which are going to be sword, axe, spear, and almighty. If he wants to be in any of them, or if he's not in any of them and he wants to go to another, there's an extra 8 frames added to his move. So example, he starts the round with no weapon, and if he wants to be in sword mode, his fastest attack, which is I-10 in sword, will be I-18. See the speed difference because of the blue, you know. So, what does this mean? It means in round start you can kind of bully the character, but I'll get that to that later. For now, I'll just talk about what specific things he has in each stance. So, sword, the whole premise of this stance is its exceptional punishment. With good whiff punishes, good standing punishment, really good crouch punishment while he has meter because he has an I-13 CE in the stance. Is it bugged? Did I screw something up? Oh, I see. Alright. Is the, yeah, I did just start. But the stream's running fine, right? Okay, that's fine. Anyways, what was I saying? Yeah, so sword has really good punishment, but its offense is kind of weak. So you can kind of bully him. Like, for mix-ups, he basically only has this 2-2B stuff that just does a lot of guard damage. And this thing is plus on block, and it'll break your guard kind of fast if you just let him do it to you for free. And then he has throws. That's about it. But his throws are pretty good for him because they put him in almighty mode, which basically just lets him have all his weapons at the same time, which is kind of screwed up. But it only lasts one stack unless he's in soul charge. So generally, against this stance with Yoshimitsu, I think that 1K is like your best poke against this stance, because even in sword, he does not have an I-12 2A, meaning that you can Magic Carving Fist for practically free unless he reads it with a jump. This game is not liking me. Yeah. So so 1K actually gives you a pretty powerful situation, and his backstep kind of sucks. So he can't. I'm pretty sure he can't backstep after this to avoid your AA. Oh, he can, but you know, you can still pressure him from there with something like B slide A or just dashing up if he tries to step more than once. Or like, it's kind of like at that point, it's like, is he going to box step or not? Because you can run out, you can do dash AA at neutral to cover his box step, but he'll be able to block it if he just does a normal back step, if that makes sense. Do something like that. And your throws are good. You don't really want to go into meditation versus this stance, but you kind of have to sometimes, because it becomes kind of a 50-50 between you doing the foot clap and getting hit, because he does have the fucked up I-10 AA that he can do and force you into axe Oki. And another thing, since you have a couple weird -10 moves like 4-4K, while standing B, and Flea B. Those are kind of like not as useful in this matchup because you eat such a massive fucking punish for taking them. So I recommend you replace your 4-4K with either 4-4B plus K or 2-1-4A, because they both have some pretty niche uses in this matchup, such as azwel hits you with this. I mistimed that. Well, you know what, hold on, let me make sure he's in sword stance first. Because most azwels will go for this clash setup, and you can dodge it with that while also evading highs. But, you know, you can get hit by other things, of course, but it's kind of a niche use. And so, I like to replace those, or 4-4K with those. And as for while standing B, that's just kind of like, you gotta use it and you gotta hope he doesn't know. I think it's one of those deals, because all of your while standing options are -10. Another thing, just saying nerf azwel. Nah. I'm trying to actually help people improve instead of complaining about the character. But anyways, what else? Oh yeah. So you still want to use 6A plus B against this character, but you can't really use Flea B because if you block it, you just die, and it becomes a 50-50 that's not really in your favor, because if you guess right, you basically just get guard damage or a launch. So another thing you could do is do this: 6A plus B into med K, because he does have to mash to interrupt this, but mashing loses to Flea B hold. So it's pretty solid. It does kind of like put you in a shitty 50-50, but you know, it's more in your favor, so to say. Because if you guess right on the foot clap, you get like 50 damage compared to getting guard damage. And also, if he decides not to, you know, attack or just block, you know, you can run your mix. I think that's about it for sword stance, besides the stance defense, which I'll get to later. So keep in mind, he has a few like really good pokes here, stuff like this. This one's -2, so be careful about mashing after it, because it does leave you pretty far, and his AA is much bigger than yours. And AA, I think, is also pretty good against this character. AA, BB, keeping it compact, no big whiffs or anything like that. Just going in, poking the fuck out of him, and just kind of abusing his lack of a good horizontal mid. So you can kind of step a lot against the character, kind of duck a lot against the character. It's like, what happens if you duck? That. Or that. So like, whatever. It's not that big of a deal. And I mean, if he really wants to, he can Dark Tassel it up by doing a sword toss in neutral, but that's kind of like big risk for not, like, you can launch him for that if he guesses wrong. And so let's get on to his axe mode, the one that is very infamous. So this mode has very good mix-ups, very strong range control, but its frame data is kind of not good. So it's kind of like you're fighting against a nightmare in terms of what you can get away with against this character. So he's got 3A, which is probably like one of the best horizontals in the game. Full cross 3A, 6AA. These are all good horizontals for catching step. You can't really, like, stepping is kind of risky against this character. And oh yeah, also Muscle Buster, also one of the best horizontals in the game. So the thing about all this is there's some little things you can do to these. So this one doesn't jail, so you can just duck it. It's not that hard, but it's kind of hard to do like in a match, so you can punish it. 6AA, if the first hit doesn't actually hit you and he just kind of yeets it at distance, you can still duck it. But that one does jail. For 3A, he's -8, so you do get your turn afterwards, and that's fine. Well, I mean, it's not favorable, but you know, it's what you get. And then for his vertical, his infamous 3B, this move is -16 if he doesn't do the follow-up, meaning, you know, you get your punish, whatever. But if he does the follow-up, it's kind of tough beans because it interrupts I-10s and all that. So punishing it is kind of a mix-up between sidestepping and like step G'ing and what's the word I'm looking for? Punishing the no-hold version. Or no follow-up version. Because a lot of times Azwels will do just the 3B to catch Oki. Like catch roll on Oki. And honestly, they only really do the follow-up if they know you're punishing it. Because this is like the worst option for in terms of damage. It does like 50. While doing 3B hold should give you much more. Should give you about 70. And then the, you know, 3B lethal hit and all that. Alright, and then he has a 6B string, which is pretty solid, I think. So a few characters have like things that could like nullify like 2 of the options. Yoshi has one of those. So he does 6BA, and you can trooper roll under this. Boop boop. Trooper roll under 6BB, but he does have this new move 6BAB, which will beat that. Which is honestly, I don't know. It's just B4 coming out from that. And it's kind of not that big of a risk for the reward you're getting here. You know what I'm saying? But then again, he could always just do, make you look like an idiot. It's one of those deals. Alright, and so he also has these jumping moves, which are pretty good. They're always, jumping moves from him are always the same speed. So this one, it's kind of hard to react to, especially like if he just tosses out neutral. But it is -16, I believe, so you can deal with that if you block it. But it's kind of hard. And I think that's about it. Just keep in mind that his axe slow is like one of the most punishable moves in the game, because let's say you block it. Alright, so you get to do whatever you want basically, and he has no weapon, so you can bully him or force him to use soul charge. I believe Yoshi can actually do this, yeah. And then just bully him from there. It's like, whenever he has no weapon, you want to take it as far as you can, make him pay for it. Basically, bully the crap out of him. Otherwise, he just kind of gets away with murder. And that's why, at round start, I kind of recommend just running at him and making him think about what he has to do at round start every time. Alright, and anyways, I'm going to move on to Spear. Spear, it's fucking slow. Its fastest move is I-18, meaning you can really get away with some shit against this character, as long as, like, in terms of, like, negativity on block punishment. You can do up to -16 moves, which is pretty solid. I'm pretty sure Yoshimitsu's 3B actually becomes a mix-up against this character. Like, this thing. Because, you can't really... Hold on, let me check. Maybe not, but... Yeah, maybe it does, I don't know. But, that's something I'd have to lab. So, his frame data kind of sucks, and other things... He doesn't really have, mid-horizontal, again. It's only, I guess it's really only Axe that has that. So, he has this 1A, it's a really good move, -12, and it's kind of hard to react to. And you can't jump attack it, because if you jump attack it, you will get parried. And that leaves you at -10. But at least that's all he gets. Few things. Step duck is okay against this stance. It's just an azwel that knows what you're doing it can make you look dumb for it. Because of his ability, like you can just delay stuff and make it re-align. And this stance also has really good block punishment. Or not block punishment, full crouch punishment. It has one of the best I-12s in the game, which is this thing. Which when you have meter leads to like 74 damage, and when you don't it leads to like 50. So it's I-12 and it gives you Axo key. So what do I do about this stance? Well, you just kind of wait for him to do something dumb with it, honestly. And you kind of just play solid defense because you want to avoid reactable moves, because if he reacts to something, he has all these fucked up HEIs attached to all of his attacks, and his weapon arts in this stance is this thing, which GIs mids and lows and tech crouches after it GIs the stuff. Stuff like that. So it's kind of meant to be like, what is it? A really GI heavy stance. Because another thing is, if he gets level 3 GI, he has guaranteed damage where you either have to pay some of your guard gauge or take 50 damage to not take full damage. Let me rephrase that. Basically, he has a lethal. The lethal's on level 3 GI and it does 50 damage, but you could re-GI to make it not do 50 damage, but instead it does 30. But you are paying about 10% of your guard gauge to make it not do that. And so you kind of, it's like, it's not meant to have good punishment, but it has a really good post-GI and all that. And it has a lot of low minus on block moves, which means, let's say he does this, and I mash an I-10, it lets him parry that shit. So how do I beat that? Well, do a slower move. That one was I-16. So if you see an azwel mashing at you, either just like block or step duck immediately and stand back up, or do a slightly slower move, because he still doesn't have the frame data to contest you at minus frames. So you just have to slow it down. His full crouch mix up. This is a classic. So it is kind of a real mix-up, because, okay, let's say you step duck here. Yeah, sure, you can block that and you can sidestep the full crouch 1B. But if he just does this, you kind of get memed. Dang it. Yeah, he can make it realign by delaying it. So, kind of what I recommend against this stance sometimes is using RE. Like, even if it isn't that good, like for Yoshi, you kind of have to use it, because this stance has like one RE safe move, and that's because it's guard break. Everything else has high recovery and doesn't really like it just gets hit by RE. So that's something to keep in mind, that you can RE pretty freely against this, and so long. And the punish will not be that bad as long as if he steps it, since like you RE, he can like sidestep and full crouch 1B it basically, or CE it, one of those deals. And I think that's about all I want to say for these. Besides this thing's minus on hit. Don't let it fool you. A lot of people will get hit by this and then eat the mix-up. You can avoid this. It's like -4 on hit, so you can just bip. I think you can even do an I-16. Trades with I-16. You could probably make a clash there. I don't know how, but you probably could. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, he just his generic moves. He has 4A plus B, which is always I-18 and always a counter hit launcher. Except for an axe, it's not a counter hit launcher in axe. He has 2A plus B, which is kind of like this weird ground stun low, which is +8 on normal hit, but +10 on counter hit. See how it gives you that little what is this? You know. So that means in sword stance you can launch someone with that, with his AB and all that. And he has 6A plus B. This leaves in Almighty. It jumps, but it's kind of jank. Also, if you dodge it, well, maybe not. Thought you could run up and back throw it, but maybe not. But if you dodge it, it's terrible on whiff. Yoshimitsu sucks, I guess. I don't know. Guess you have to see it. Wow, okay, that's... I want to die. You have to delay to see if you want to punish this thing. And so you also have 6A plus B. This is the one that people really don't like, where this move is -12 on block, and it gives him Almighty. For Yoshi, you basically can just get this because you don't want to be in Azwel's face for the most part. But if you want plus frames, you will go for the AA Brave Edge. Yeah, you can do the... I was going to get to that. I know about that one. That's why I was going to try it on the base one. So, what else? So, in his Almighty form, he kind of has everything, but only once. A lot of time, Azwels will just kind of commit to using a... just like using sword or doing a YOLO muscle buster. But the thing is, run up muscle buster is slightly harder in Almighty than it is in Axe mode, because you can't use neutral B plus K to do it. You have to do 6B plus K. So there might be a little stutter before they do it, so that they like get the distance. Maybe make it easier to react to. May get you lethal. I don't know, but it's just something to know that it's a little harder to do in Almighty. The CE, I believe, is always normally I-18, but I could be wrong on that one. But I know for sure it's I-13 in sword stance. So that's kind of a fucked up Punisher. Oh yeah, he also has AA plus B. This move is a negative -1 billion on block. So just if he throws it out at round start, you should probably punish him for it. Yeah, let's get on to his soul charge. Oh yeah, he also has this unblockable that you probably only ever see Ufmatic use. It's not very good, I think. CE is I-20. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, actually. Yeah, so CE is probably I-20. Because 8 plus 12. I mean, I think it started out as being I-12 at the beginning, and then they nerfed it to I-13. Because I think having an 85 damage I-12 CE is a little bit too much. Alright. So, the soul charge, you kind of have to like just kind of stick it out against the best character in the game. But you can, like, you do have frame data to kind of compete with him. But he does have some of the best anti-mash tools in the game. Like, let's say you want to 2A this man after getting hit to avoid another AA or interrupt a muscle buster. He has that clash, which gives him a full launch. Yeah, I wouldn't know either. I just kind of messed around with this character at launch. See. And, you know, he has his access to his level 3 post-GI shenanigans. Meaning that you have to take a lot of damage if you guess wrong on GI there, because... And he does have a way to not spend as much soul charge gauge afterwards. because Muscle Buster is a thing and it freezes soul gauge for whatever reason. He has a couple new moves in this. These are break attacks. His power of whatever's. This one's +2. I don't remember what the other one is because nobody fucking uses it. He also has his A plus B becomes something like that. If you can, try to GI it on reaction because it does give you a level 3. Oop, I suck. And all that. If you don't if you don't GI it, it's -10 if it lets you punish it. Soul Charge Beyblade, Yoshi has a couple things he can do. Oop, I suck. You can flip it with this. Kind of a hard thing to do on reaction against the average azwel because if you try to do it on reaction, you'll probably get hit like that. You can pogo over it, which gives you this, if I can do it right, but yeah, it gives you that, like 50 damage. You can also Dragonfly sometimes, but if... Yeah, there's the sometimes. Yeah, it has a really good hitboxes above it for whatever reason. Allow me to demonstrate. Come on. Gotta be right around here. Gotta be right around here. Man, I wish this game wouldn't make me go back down if I activated that. Because I know there's a hitbox like somewhere right above him that hits me every now and again whenever I'm playing this character. But yeah, anyways. So, some other stuff for defense. At -12, you can actually kind of do like a good option against his Muscle Buster mix-up. Alright, let's do this. Wait, let's do this. And another recording. Now I'm doing this. So let's say you want to beat both immediate options at -12 at the same time. You can do micro step right jump, which is, it's kind of a solid option because he can't really backstep it. Well, I mean, he can backstep it, for example. It's just an option that makes him not like you know, be able to do immediate stuff. But yeah, so like you can get with punish for this or whatever. Yeah, you're right, Gale, but you know, I woke up and I felt like doing something, so. But yeah, so you can you need about 8 frames to do this jump if you have a frame 4 jump attack, I believe. That's what my jump E is. Oh, shit. So yeah, that'll beat both options that are immediate. And all that. Another thing, oh yeah, I should probably talk about his stances. His stances are kind of important. So, he has a few stance transitions. Most of them suck. BB, this one is especially bad because it takes 10 years. Full crouch 2A, this one does not matter because it also takes 10 years. It's like you recover and then you do it from neutral. That's how bad those stances are. 2A, this one's not too bad on hit. If I remember right, this will interrupt mashing. Yeah. So, 2A is not that bad on hit. You can, I believe, use a frame 4 to duck it. So, but it's still kind of a mix-up. On block, I don't think it's as good. You can just mash it out. Yeah. And he has a couple other ones. This one should be punishable all the time, the 2-2A one, because this by itself is -12. But I guess he can do empty stance to beat R2A because, I don't know, reasons. But yeah, this should beat every option except basically that. Yeah, and then he can punish you for it like this. So it depends on the character, but most characters can 2A this shit. If you think he's gonna stance that, do the 4K, you could just 4B him and do that. But keep in mind that will lose to his crouch dash stance. And this is probably his best stance transition. So this one, it has 2 frame trap options on block. It has the BOB AA, BOBK. The Bob K is it is a counter hit launcher, and it does give him like a full launch with Axo key. The Bob A is a counter hit combo. How do I set this up? I know how to set this up. Into that. Or AA. Or he has an A version too. So you can't really do anything about that. Or well, you can do something about that. It's just kind of a mix up on whether or not you want to duck. Because you can duck it, or you could GI both options, I believe. Give it a look. Yeah, you can GI both options. And I believe since the spear is a projectile, you get to be plus 10. You get a number. I'll check the number now. Probably should hold the guard earlier. Shit. Okay, that should be good. Not minus 18. Not minus 16. Well, I think I kind of screwed that one up. Probably minus 14. Oh, minus 12 it looks like. Yeah, so if you GI that, he's minus 12, I guess. So I think that's his beauty balance stance. He does have this Psycho Crusher, which is kind of screwed up. Because I think this into this is also a frame trap. Nope, you can 2A that shit. I wonder if you could 2A to this thing. Okay, so 2A is a pretty good option here. I mean, if you're Yoshi, you could probably just do this. But keep in mind, this only beats the stuff in this stance. If I can do a Magikarp Fist here. Yep. And see if it beats the Psycho Crusher. It's kind of hard because of the block stun. Yeah, so you can Magikarp Fist that. Which should be a lot of options from that stance. And he has another stance, Tragedy of War, which is the good one, basically. This thing is plus 8. You're in a kind of a screwed up mix-up situation after it. That being Muscle Buster, because you cannot step duck it. But there is an arcane technique, if you're a robot, that lets you step duck it, which is 262G, which is... Or no, it's 26G2. There it is. So basically, it's that 26G shit, but you duck. So you can technically step duck it here, but it's really fucking hard, and I don't know how I'm getting it this consistently. But anyways, so like if you're a robot, that is the best option in that situation. The worst thing you eat is a counter hit 3A. Or not a counter hit 3A, it's just a normal hit 3A. Now I say it. Otherwise, you can do the step jump if you're if it's like, because that's way easier to do. Or you could just like mix it up between RE, GI, jumping, all that sort of stuff. It's just a real mix up at that point. And Strategy of War A. This move is only +2, so you should probably not respect it that much because, I mean, his fastest move is an I-14, but if you have an I-10, he can't really do anything cool to you. Because, like, if he does this, this should clash with the I-12 2As and give you that. Yeah, so if this move clashes with something, he actually gets the full combo, which normally doesn't work. So if you are an I-12 finna, you can just do that. And Strategy of War K, this move is kind of fucked up. It's -12, but you can while standing K it every time. Give yourself some good Oki against Axe. And all that. If you want to, you could try jumping it, but it's not really worth it. You can probably step duck this stuff on your, like, in most Oki situations, azwels will do this. You won't be able to step duck, but if you react fast enough, you could step duck it. But I think if he delays the Tragedy of War B, he will catch that. So maybe it's not worth it. I think it's just the way to go deal with the stance is to block low until you see the Tragedy of War B, and well, you know, you gotta block it. It's one of those deals. It's kind of hard to do online and PS4, but you know, something you gotta do. And his last stance, Comedy of Errors. This is basically just a really evasive stance. He has a move with a built-in sidestep that counter hit combos. Let's say I try to mash at him, or how am I gonna set this up? But yeah, that does give him a counter hit combo, which leaves him in sword, by the way. That one's pretty decent. It's like something they do to make their stances safe, basically. Like the worst stance transitions. Forgot to talk about this one. This one is generally made safe by 4K, which is Comedy of Errors. So the other one, Comedy Errors BB. This one it goes really far, and you kind of just use it to whiff punish something if you make something whiff here. One thing about it is if he lets it rip, you can GI it to be +12. Yes. So that's cool and all, but just saying, this move is very hit confirmable. So you can make sure that, like, there's not really a reason to let it fly. Then you've got this thing. This thing is not very good, I think, but it is kind of useful on occasion. I don't remember if it's safe or not because nobody really uses it, but I do know that you always want to tech after this, because if you don't tech, he gets 1A as a follow-up. But if he goes for that, you can just wake up, block low, punish him. Punish that shit. I think that's about it for his stances. Generally, 2A is pretty good against him. But the 2A will generally lose against Comedy of Errors, aka the 3-year stance, which kind of sucks. Oh yeah, I should probably talk about his Soul Charge CE. This thing, it's -1 billion. Like, Yoshi can block punish it with CE. Actually, another thing that's -1 billion is this thing, because Yoshi can block punish this thing with CE. Congratulations, Azwel. You have the most moves that Yoshi can block. Wait, what the fuck? Someone lied to me. Yeah, okay, maybe you can't block punish that with CE. I thought it was, but I guess you can't block punish that with CE. Yeah, now that you know his moves and all that, what's good against all the sets, you have to think about what you're gonna do at round start versus this guy. Because, like, let's say he does this. He does the single A to round start. You just run up and hit him. Like you can't really, like, you don't want to let him get a weapon at round start. You want to bully him because he is in his weakest state at round start. And if he does get a weapon, you want him to pay for it. So, how can you do this as Yoshi? Well, you can do, hold on. Oh, I'm bad. There we go. You can do run up B slide A, round start. This will, I believe, counter hit AA and go under it, but it will lose to something like a B4 or a 6B. If I could just do a B slide A. Yeah. Listen, it's cold in here, man. But yeah, you'll generally get counter hit by that, I think. Other options he has is if he starts feeling pressured enough by you just running up and mashing at him, he might do something like this, which, you know, minus a billion, whatever. Or he'll just back off and just try to get away from you, which you can still run up and do stuff at. But you kind of want to stay in a specific space against him to pressure him at that point. Like, you want to stay around here so you can punish something like an AB, and so you can react to basically everything else. Because if you hear the boing and you don't see the fucking swords, you could probably just see a lot of his pokes that he wants to throw out to get into a weapon. And so if you're around here and he throws out a single A, you can punish him with 4KB. Another thing that's pretty good against azwel is you can backstep and then you can just see him at round start, and it'll cover actually a lot of options for him getting into stance. Such as, like, I'm pretty sure if you're too slow, it'll not cover single A, but it'll make him block it. And if he presses AA, then he just gets hit, or any other poke, which is cool. What else? Let's talk about his RE. So his RE always puts him in sword. And if you want to read his REBB, you want to sidestep. Oh man, Yoshi is fucking slow. Maybe if I go the other way. Maybe I just suck at this. But yeah, you can run up and back throw it for 70 damage, which is pretty solid. Other RE options. Is RE would 6A plus B work? Probably. Yeah, but it's kind of one of the weird stuns where you don't get the Manji carving fist. And of course you can see it as well. And so his A should go into stance like that. Let's have him do it. I want to see how good this stance transition is. Oop. Well, that jailed. I couldn't do anything. Yeah, it seems like a pretty good stance transition. So, probably blocking is not the greatest idea against azwel. What you want to do most of the time is sidestep, or use your K. We'll just have him do this. Because if you use K, he has to use the A. And I don't know, I guess our RE is kind of like not that good at fighting his because our B sucks. But hey, at least if we're by the wall, we can get some nice damage. Man, but yeah, usually, but like if you get the wall splat there, you can do a B slide A. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. So movement is also pretty good because then if he presses K, then you're having a good time. Not really too much of a reason to press A versus Azwel, I'm not gonna lie, because his K is wonky. Well, let me try it out. Let me see what the situation is. He goes and I'm pretty sure he's still negative here, so you can just like hit him. But you might be able to get AA'd. It looks like you can get AA'd there. I'm not sure. Something I'd have to test out. Yuck. Azwel, also another thing, Azwel is a big boy, so Yoshi big boy combos work against him. You know, stuff like that works. Good old big boy combos. Why'd that give me a counter hit? Why is this not on counter? There it is. So that stuff works. It's pretty good. And so to recap, against Sword, you want to use a lot of pokes and mix them up kind of non-committally. Keep in mind his while standing punishment isn't that great until he gets a borrowed meter. So round start, it's pretty alright to just spam 1K at him. Spam 1B. You want to avoid -10 things, specifically like Flea B, because he can launch that even if the reward is good on hit for it. And just kind of med camp for the most part. You guess right enough, you'll probably win. You know, that's how the matchup goes. And another thing I forgot to say is against his against Axe and Sphere, Dragonfly A is very good. You can treat it as a slow, safe horizontal that just kind of jumps during its startup and knocks down. It gives you really good OP. Because it looks like on him, if you hit him, you can do this, but that is techable. Just gonna say, that is techable. I turn this on. So yeah, Dragonfly A is especially good against Axe and all that. Just gotta remember your tech jumps against Axe so you don't get lethaled. Should talk about his Oki situations next, now I think about it. So his bread and butter, the good old whatever. What can I do about this? This vortex. I can roll. Or can I? I don't know. I thought I could roll. I think I have to mash it. That's kind of screwed up that it works on Yoshi. So what if he tries it twice? Oh my god, Yoshi sucks. Why is that a thing? Alright, so I guess he can, against big boys, Azwel can mostly just do this for free. Interesting. Didn't know that. So yeah, he has that to cover rolling, I guess, against you. And he has 3B. Hold on. Try other direction. I did try other direction, it didn't work. So you can soul charge out of this part, out of I-20 after that knockdown. Good to know. Let's try the other direction anyways. Shit. Maybe there's a timing to it. I don't know. Listen, from my experience, like I play azwel also, but like from my experience, that shit kind of whiffs sometimes against other characters. So it looks like we kind of got the short end of the stick by picking Yoshi. Anyways, what was I doing? I was doing this. You can wake up GI, instant, whatchamajiggy key. I wonder if you can wake up GI this too. Yeah, you can wake up GI that too. So, immediate options, you can wake up GI, you can wake up Soul Charge. This Oki is not as good as people think it is. But it's still pretty solid because, I mean, he can just delay it and all that. Run at you like a shithead azwel player usually does. What else? Any other Oki situations I want to talk about? Because, I mean, the 6BB is the big one. Oh, yeah, AB. Let's talk about AB. This one is much better because 9B is 100% a force block here. I tried to GI it, he got that. Tried to Soul Charge, he got that. Which is quite a lot of guard damage. I believe it's 9%. So that's cool. 60B also a force block here, but it gives you a worse situation. Because even if they don't hold the guard button, they get a low launch and all you get is the 6B AB here. Because all the other ones just whiff. So his Oki is a lot worse and he goes into sword again. So but he does have to move up to land the Muscle Buster. So what can I do about that? Well, I can stay on the damn ground and then just react to 9B. Which is probably what you should do. Just stay on the ground and react to the 9B. Wait for him to do something and abuse his Okizemi. Wait, I think I remember the counterplay to the 6BB now. Or, yeah. Hold on, I gotta remember to do the right thing. Yeah, 3B kind of sucks grounded, but I think it's only like 20 damage compared to the 40 that the 9B does. Alright, let's try this. Yeah, you can sidestep that. That was what I found. Yeah, don't let him do that. You actually have no reason to stay grounded after getting hit by grounded hit 6B, just saying. Since you can wake up and sidestep that. It's a lot less plus than I thought it was. Yeah. Always better than a standard hit because you don't want to get you don't want to hear the you know. Also keep in mind in Soul Charge that his AB does combo into into CE for about 77 damage, I believe. Somewhere around that number. So try especially hard to not be minus 10 when he's in Soul Charge and he has 2 bars of meter and you're at low health. Which is kind of hard because it does eliminate a lot of your move list, but for Yoshi, it's kind of okay, I guess. Just, thing about his Soul Charge is you just don't want to, you know, guess wrong. Because if he blocks your 1K, you know, he gets this. Or, no, wait, hold on. He gets this. Which is kind of a grip of damage. And then AB. Yeah, it's pretty similar damage. So his punishment is really great in this stance. So you just kind of have to keep it to timing punishments, I think, to screw him up. Things that can't really be punished, you know, per se by on block. Yeah, he has a lot of good moves in Soul Charge. I'm gonna tell you that. So basically, your whole plan against his Soul Charge is to waste as much fucking time as possible. Do a lot of single A, single B. Convince him that you're gonna do the second hit. Make him block. Keep him out, and just like have solid defense against his options. Which is basically how you win. You just have to just defend good and hit him out of stuff. Low recovery moves. You know, stuff that makes him think, oh no, there's something gonna happen next, and then you just run the fuck away. Prey is an option, yeah. Anything else I want to talk about? Oh yeah, just keep in mind his RE is exceptionally bad. Hold on. Damn it. I need you to not hold it, buddy. Well, how do I set this up? Guess I'd have to do it against myself, huh? But his RE is kind of bad, so we do have a lot of things we can get away with stepping or spinning against it. Because I believe 4KB you can spin after and then do all that. What else? Oh yeah, his counter hit 3A. That's something I should talk about. Damn it. Turn that off. So what do I do about this? So as Yoshi, if you read this option, you can do that, which is kind of cool. You can also use RE to turn around and break the grab if he times it poorly. I think I timed it poorly on this one. Fuck. God damn it. I think that should work. But yeah, if you get, you can do like an RE guard cancel thing, but I guess not there because I timed that throw a little better. But yeah, you press any button here and you just kind of die to the throw. And so if you notice you're not pressing a button so you don't get lethal, then you avoid the throw, and you can do that. They'll probably start just muscle bustering here, which again, you just have to guess right here. There's not really an answer to this mix-up. Unfortunately, it's kind of screwed up. Just keep in mind, something I think is good, 2-2A, pretty good against spear mode, because if he wants to punish it, he has to react kind of fast and do an AB, which is comparatively less damage than anyone else would get. Also, it's big. It's big. Okay, I think I've run out of stuff against this character to talk about. So I think I'm going to end the stream here and call it a day. Thanks for coming by and watching, guys. Let me find someone to host real quick. Need to get some coffee and some breakfast, bro. Send you on over to Jimbo Nader. Alright, peace, guys.